Let's talk load management. The NBA is getting criticized for load management, but should they? This is Dr. David Chao, Pro Football Doc at Sports Injury Central, SICScore.com. Let's talk about load management. Load management is part of athlete health, wellness, well-being, and analytics in terms of overusage. Load management is in every sport. The NBA gets roundly criticized for it. I get it from a fan perspective, but that criticism is unfair because load management happens not just in the NBA, it happens in the NFL, it happens in Major League Baseball, it happens in all sports. That's just the way it is. I get why it's in the news. Charles Barkley, love him, respect him. He's talking about it. Richard Jefferson is talking about it. It's in the news again. And it's a little bit like, Grandpa saying, when I was back in school, I walked 5 miles through the snow uphill to and from school. Look, even for medicine, when I was a resident, we would take call all night and then work all day the next day, 36 straight hours without sleep. Now that's outlawed. 50-hour work weeks for residents. You go home after you go on call. Is that better or worse? Some say worse for training, some say better for patient care. Same with load management. Worse for fans, but in the better part, bigger picture, better for players and better for teams to have the players available. Let's talk some examples. If you look at LeBron James, who's 38, yes, he's missed some time for an ankle injury. Yes, he's missed some back-to-backs. Even Steph Curry. But Steph Curry, who's 35, missed a little time. He's played 37 games. He missed 4 for rest, 3 on back-to-backs, about 10%. And it's not Steph Curry asking to sit out. It's his team telling him what's best. Lots of other examples of this as well. But here's where I say load management is always the case in football. Look, there's 82 basketball games, 17 football games. It's about 5 NFL games to 1 basketball game. The NBA gets criticized because if you're trying to see LeBron James or Steph Curry and you bought your ticket and you can't, it's very noticeable. But let's take a look at Saquon Barkley. If he sits an entire game, of course it's noticeable. That never happens. But he sits certain series even though he's a 3-down back. This year he had a breakout year again after his ACL. 80% of the snap counts, 295 rushes. The days of 300+, 400-yard carry people are not there anymore. He played 80% of the snap counts. There's usually 8, maybe 10 offensive series in a game. If LeBron James sits out 10% of games, Saquon Barkley sits out 1 series, that's NFL load management. Dalvin Cook, arguably a 3-down back, played 75% of the snaps. In-game load management for the NFL. That's the way that it works. However, it's not as noticeable because Dalvin Cook still gets his yardage and plays 75%. Travis Etienne, a young player, was splitting carries with James Robinson, but when James Robinson got traded, his max was 81%, and the wild card was 86% of snaps. That's still load management, in-game, etc. So the NFL does it too. The NFL also does it with rest for veteran players in practice. The NBA doesn't practice much in season, not much, walkthroughs, shoot-arounds, because of so many games. The NFL still practices. So NFL load management means you get Wednesday off, you get Thursday off, etc., especially if you're a veteran, etc. Major League Baseball has load management. Look, when I was growing up, the relief pitcher pitched the 8th inning and 9th inning, sometimes the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. That doesn't happen anymore. It's 1-inning relievers. You look at Clayton Kershaw this last season. He's 34. He had a perfect game after 7 innings on April 13th of this last season, and he was pulled, and there was criticism, but that's load management for his season. 20 years ago, I think there were well over 40 pitchers every year that pitched at least 200 innings. Now you're lucky to have 4 pitchers, it's certainly under 10, that pitch 200 innings at least. There used to be 4-man rotations. Now it's 5 and sometimes 6-man rotations. That's load management. I think the NBA gets unfairly criticized for load management. It is prevalent in all sports in different formats. From a fan perspective, it doesn't look good. I get it, to sit a star right before the game to rest, and they're healthy and they're sitting on the bench. Not a good look. But that happens in all the other sports, as I've just cited too. And it's just a reality in the health and safety era. Some have said, owners are going to push these stars to play. No, owners are the ones pushing these stars to sit and undergo load management because they want them healthy for an entire season. They want them healthy for the playoffs. I'm not advocating sitting. I'm not advocating against fans. I'm just saying load management is a reality, not just in the NBA, but the NFL, Major League Baseball, and more. This is Dr. David Chao. Go to Sports Injury Central, SICScore.com. We're the only place with injury analysis, not injury reporting. Analysis like this is what you'll get all the time at the site. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel.